Hi, and welcome to the East Central Regional Arts Council Scholarship Information Session for the K through 12 scholarship application. This is for fiscal year 2019, which we are currently in. My name is Katina. I'm the Grant Program Officer with the East Central Regional Arts Council, and I'll do my best to walk you through our scholarship application and try and maybe answer some questions that you may have about who we are, scholarships themselves. So as I go through this session, I'm going to talk about the overview of the arts funding in the state of Minnesota itself, as well as the arts funding in East Central Minnesota, specifically ECRAC. You will hear me say ECRAC, which is our acronym, of course, for the East Central Regional Arts Council. And then I'm going to go into some scholarship writing basics. To start off, the Minnesota Arts Funding System itself is a very unique decentralized system of 11 regional arts councils. We are Region 7E on the map. If you can see our arrow pointed at our region, we are the counties of Pine, Kanabec, Mille Lacs, Isanti, and Chisago counties. We partner with the Minnesota State Arts Board to serve the nonprofits arts community within our region. The Regional Arts Council is funded through the McKnight Foundation. The McKnight Foundation funds our individual artist grants and our Essential Artist Award. We are also funded through the state of Minnesota's Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, the ACHF Fund or Legacy Fund, and the state of Minnesota's General Fund, which I can see that I'm missing in this slide, but the state of Minnesota's General Fund is also our funding source. That funds our organization grants and our individual artists. On November 4th, 2008, if you are not aware, the voters of Minnesota approved a 25-year arts legacy for the state of Minnesota. This was the Clean Water, Land, and Legacy Amendment. As a result of this approval over a 25-year period, of which we are in currently year 10 of our 25 years, the breakdown of the funding is 3/8 of 1% of the state's sales tax will be dedicated as follows: 1/3 to the Clean Water Fund, 1/3 to an Outdoor Heritage Fund, and the final 1/3 is broken into two parts: 14.25% to Parks and Trails and 19.75% to Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. This website listed at the bottom of the slide is where you can find more information about the legacy funding and where that funding is going to, but that 19.75 does fund all of the regional arts councils within the state, as well as other organizations such as Minnesota Public Radio, Public Television, zoos. Anyway, if you do want to know more information, feel free to go to this website and it will share. There will be a lot more information about that. Okay, some information about ECRAC itself. We are an old and a new organization. The East Central Regional Arts Council became a program of the East Central Regional Development Commission in 1979, and they were located in Mora, Minnesota, the ECRDC in Mora, Minnesota. In 2010, after working with consultants and with input from constituents, the decision was made that the Arts Council would leave the RDC and become the new designated Regional Arts Council, an independent nonprofit, on July 1st, 2011, and moved its office to Bram. Bram is the geographic center of our region. Most of the advisory committee then became board members of the new East Central Regional Arts Council. The mission of the East Central Regional Arts Council is to support the arts and bring the life-enhancing values they afford to Region 7E residents. ECRAC accomplishes this mission through programs and special initiatives for artists and art organizations. In other words, we're here to increase the arts. We want to make art happen and to help you make art happen. The vision of the East Central Regional Arts Council includes Region 7E residents will have the opportunity to participate, appreciate, create, and invest in the arts. Each of these values, I won't go through each one here, but they are on our website if you'd like to take more time to review them. These are values that all of the board members keep in mind while they are reviewing the scholarship applications. Specifically, artistic merit is something I'll talk about here in just a little bit. But all of these, of course, are very close, near and dear to us. Okay, some of the other items that we provide are grants to organizations, presenters, schools, artists in order to support the arts and arts activities. Of course, that is what we spend the majority of our time here on. We are a grant maker. We also provide some technical assistance and workshops and referral services to art organizations, presenters, and artists located in our region. And we also help coordinate the regional needs assessment and subsequent arts plan for the region itself. But just keep in mind that our main goal is to make art happen, and we do that through grants and scholarships to artists like you. Our board members include the list here. We try to have at least two representatives from each county. That is our goal. We can have up to three. These are the current board members of the Regional Arts Council. We do have some vacancies, so I will just throw out there that if you know anybody who might be a great board member, feel free to point them in our direction. I do want you to know who the board members are as well, because I don't want you to lobby them for your art project. Um, it does make your scholarship application ineligible if you lobby them to support your application. So keep that in mind as you're moving forward. Certainly, if you have questions, always reach out to us, and we're happy to talk about your project while you're working on your scholarship application. Okay, grant writing basics. Okay, so if you are not funded, please reapply. Reach out to us and find out what the reviewers had to say about your application. Um, it's not personal when we do not fund your scholarship. It most likely means that there was something in your scholarship that we couldn't fund, or we ran out of funding. There are a number of reasons why we are unable to fund all of the applications that come into us. We do have limited resources, but the key that I want you to take away from this is to not get discouraged if you are not approved. You can contact me and find out more about what scholarship reviewers had to say about your application, and try again. We offer this scholarship to students within our region every year. And this year is the March 1st grant deadline, which hopefully you're listening to this because you will be writing a grant application. But I just want you to know that if you aren't funded, please try again. Here are some scholarship applicant information. Make sure that the student that is applying for the scholarship is living in one of the Minnesota counties: Chisago, Isanti, Kneebec, Mille Lacs, or Pine. This scholarship cannot fund college credits, and it cannot replace regular artistic classes or training for homeschooled students. So keep that in mind too if you're applying for this art project. Applications must be for a specific art project that will advance the skills of the student in their particular art form. So this can include training with a mentor, or perhaps they are interested in a summer arts program such as a music or visual arts camp. Artists of any art form are welcome to apply for this scholarship. So a few examples are dance, design, folk and traditional arts, literature, local arts organizations or presenters that they want to take a class with, media arts, multidisciplinary, music, theater, visual arts, performing arts. It really can go on. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you have applied for a scholarship with us in the past and you did not complete your final report with us, or you have an unacceptable final report from your previous scholarship, keep in mind that you may not be eligible to reapply until you're able to straighten out that final report or give us a call. But if there is any question about that, just call me and we can certainly talk about it. It is not usually something that is an issue. So all projects also, when you're applying for a scholarship, all projects must be completed by December 31st of the same year. So if you're applying for the scholarship at this time, you will need to complete the scholarship application project by, the scholarship application must be submitted by March 1st. But the project itself must be completed before December 31st of 2019. So keep that timeline in mind as you're writing your scholarship application. Okay, before you begin, of course, make sure you're an eligible applicant. And do make sure that you are applying for an art project with us. You may assemble a planning team that can include me if you have questions and you want to talk to me about your project that you have in mind. You may call. I'm happy to talk about any questions you may have. You can also give us a call if you're interested to find out that we have funds available for this particular deadline for the scholarships. As I'm talking right now, yes, we do have funding available, and we usually do. But you can always call to confirm. That's no problem. And then I do highly encourage you to read the scholarship guidelines and instructions thoroughly. The scholarship guidelines are on our website, and if you have trouble finding them on the website, just give me a call. I'm happy to. I can even email a copy of them to you if that works or is easier. However, you can get your hands on those grant guidelines. Please do so and read them. I believe the grant guidelines are only, I think that for the scholarships, it's 3 pages long, maybe 4 pages. But anyways, if you have questions about any of these things, please. Okay, what is art and am I an artist? We believe art is the study of a creative skill, process of using that creative skill, the product of the creative skill, or it could be the audience's experience with the creative skill. The Minnesota State Arts Board and the regional arts councils define arts very inclusively. They're activities resulting in the artistic creation or artistic performance of works of the imagination. These activities include the disciplines that are follows. On the next page, I'll show you a list as defined by the National Endowment for the Arts. So if you're curious about whether or not you are actually have an art project in mind here, make sure your proposal is for an art project. Is the list. So this is also available within the grant application. There's a link if you need more time to review this, but generally you can see that we consider art as dance, music, musical theater, theater in general, visual arts, design arts, crafts, photography, media arts, literature. There's interdisciplinary, folk life, traditional arts in general, dance, music, crafts, humanities, those, and then they have continued categories under each. So if you have questions, again, please let me know. I'm happy to talk. Writing basics. The scholarship application itself can be found at our website. So if you go to ecrac.org, you can click on our grants tab, or this website here, you can type into your the address on your computer. Make sure all items on the scholarship application are completed and are included when you submit your application. If you're interested in seeing the grant questions before you log into our online grant portal system, because you do create a login for yourself to go into the application portal where you'll complete the grant application online. But if you want to look at a question list beforehand, it is on our grant website under the scholarship page. A list of the questions are available, so you can see those as a PDF, as well as the grant guidelines are. They are both right next to each other on our website. Make sure your application is signed. This is a typed signature. So as you're filling out your online grant application, the very last section is where you'll type in your name to certify that you are have completed the grant scholarship application. And submit the application on time. Of course, this seems obvious, but you do have until 11:59 p.m. on March 1st to submit your grant application. So March 1st, that day, you can continue working on your application, and as long as you're submitting it before 11:59 p.m., you will have submitted it to us on time. Of course, I do not encourage you to wait until the last minute to submit the application, but I understand if that is what works best for you. Know that you do have until that time to submit your application, and make sure that you are including all extra requirements and attachments to your grant application online. We cannot accept additional scholarship application materials outside of the online system. So if you email me an attachment because you couldn't upload it into your application, I will not be able to accept it via email. But I can certainly help if you're having trouble uploading any documents into your application and try and walk you through how to do that. Okay, keep in mind that scholarship reviewers can only look at your scholarship application and they cannot consider outside additional materials that you might mention in your narrative, such as a website. So keep in mind that if you are talking about the student working with a mentor and you provide the website for that mentor, the reviewers are unable to go to that website. They are only able to review the information that you submit with your application. So if you want them to see information about the mentor, you want to upload into your application a resume for that mentor, an artistic resume for that mentor, and maybe some website information about that maybe workshop that they might be taking or the camp that they're going to be going to. There is a spot in the application to upload this information. Okay, primary review criteria. When the reviewers are reading your scholarship application, they will be considering artistic quality and merit of the proposed project and the student's artistic goals and age-appropriate artistic background. So we have designed the application itself to ask you questions about these artistic goals, and they will look at the quality and merit of the proposal as you're going through. So as you're including the uploads and information about your project in your application, keep this in mind that these are the things that the reviewers will be talking about when they read your app. Okay, application itself. As you are beginning the application, we have broken it up into sections. So section 1 is the student's personal information, where you'll be filling out the name of the student applying, parents' information, address information, email information, and various items such as that. Section 2 is going to be about the project request, project information itself. So how much funding are you requesting for your scholarship project? What are the total expenses of the project expense of itself? If you are requesting an amount, you can request an amount up to $500, but perhaps your total costs for your scholarship are $600. So we do want to know where that additional funding will come from. Certainly, it's possible that it's going to come from an allowance or a parent who is going to provide the additional funding. So we do ask for that information in Section 2. Section 3 of the application is the project description. So here's where we're going to look for specifically what the scholarship money will be used for. Who are the instructors or mentors? What is the camp that they will be attending, if that is what they're going to do? Basically, have your parent help you decide the total costs and include them here too, in additional with your explanation of the project. So that is Section 3. Let's see. Section 4, applicants are going to be describing their artistic goals here. So what are your long-term goals as an artist? How will the proposed artistic project and the scholarship help you achieve those particular goals that you have in mind for your future? Section 5, you're going to be including the artistic background of the applicant. So we are looking for 2 references to be included with your application. We require references in a letter format, and they should be written specifically for the applicant and signed by the reference writer. So we have spaces in the application itself where you will upload these reference letters into the application to provide to the reviewers. We also are looking for supporting samples of past work that the artist has done in this particular medium. So you can attach perhaps a program for a recital that the student has been a part of, or writing samples, photographs. It could be a variety of things to show that the supporting work sample for the applicant itself. So there are spaces within the application to upload these items. All right, Section 6, need and merit. Describe how the scholarship will benefit your artistic skills, include information about your mentor, instructor, workshop information. So again, we have these questions within the application to assist in the reviewers looking for that artistic quality and merit of your project. Section 7 is Regional Arts Council data collection. Here's where we're asking questions that help us to assess the needs of the regional arts in the region itself. So there are some required questions in this section and some optional questions in this section. And then Section 8 is where you'll be including your application signatures. So we are looking for a signature of the, let's see, it says here, specifically I'm looking at the application itself. The signature says, I, the undersigned, am a K through 12 student and want to apply for a scholarship to further my artistic goals. So you're just typing your name in here. There is also a section, in this section, a place for a parent or guardian to include their name and signature as well. So after you've completed your scholarship application and have submitted it to us, the reviewers will review your application, and a notification to student artists who are allocated scholarship funding from the East Central Regional Arts Council will occur by May 15th for that year via the mail. So you'll get a letter from us if you're awarded the scholarship. We do also send out letters if we are unable to fund the particular scholarship application as well. So you'll hear from us either way by May 15th. The scholarship award check itself is issued jointly to the scholarship recipient and the art program or artistic mentor that the artist will be elects to work with, or with jointly with the parent if that is more appropriate. Prior to receipt of the award, the recipient must notify the Arts Council in writing of acceptance of the award and provide verification of their enrollment in the award program. Conclusion. All applications are now submitted online, so you can go to our website and you'll find the grant portal at our website under the grants page. Scholarship materials cannot be accepted outside of the online system, so keep that in mind. You do want to be able to upload everything additional material into the application itself. Feel free to have a friend read your draft and read it again. You may contact ECRAC staff, myself. I'm happy to also review a draft of your application before you submit it, as long as there's time. It doesn't guarantee funding for your scholarship, but it certainly doesn't hurt if you care to have a review of your draft. And of course, if you have questions, feel free to contact. This is our contact information. We are located in Braham, Minnesota. Our phone number is 320-396-2337. My specific line is extension 2. Again, my name is Katina. I am the Grant Program Officer with the East Central Regional Arts Council. My email is grantinfo@ecrac.org. The website is here as well, www.ecrac.org. We do have a Facebook page and a Twitter username. We do have a small staff, so if you are feeling like you might stop in to talk to us, you may want to call just to make sure that we are not off in meetings and do have time to sit down and talk to you about your project or your proposal. It is always helpful. Okay, last thing. This activity is made possible with funds provided by the McKnight Foundation and also by voters of Minnesota, thanks to legislative appropriations from both the General Fund and the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Thank you for sitting through this presentation. I hope this has helped and answers some of your questions about the scholarship application itself. I, again, am available if there are additional questions. And thank you very much. I wish you good luck with your scholarship application.